Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and we are team building for week number 7 of the GBA D League, up against GoldoaDragon, coach of the York Empoleon. Be sure to go ahead and check him out down below in the description. Very cool guy, and I believe he is currently 4-2. He picked up a big win against, I think, Leo 6-foot Hats last week, so that was pretty cool to watch, but I'm still going to be trying my best despite the fact that we are eliminated from playoff contention with our 0-6 record, just because I don't want to ruin other people's playoff chances just based on me not trying and throwing matches. That wouldn't be very fun or helpful, so I'm going to go ahead and try exactly as I would be if I was like 6-0 or 5-1 at this point, so yeah, I would bring the exact same team, but looking at Goldoa's roster, you can go ahead and check that out on the right of your screen. You can see the 6 Pokemon that I am bringing at the top of your screen. We'll go through Goldoa's Pokemon one by one, and we will look at my Pokemon individually as well and get my thoughts on the matchup as a whole. So let's go ahead and hop into Goldoa's roster. So starting off with Goldoa's roster right here, he has the Victini, which definitely does have potential to come. It was his round 1 pick, and I think round 1 Victini is some sort of like a joke right now, but it's definitely done him work. He's brought it to quite a few matches, and it's definitely done quite a bit of stuff for him, so definitely expecting that. He could bring like an Assault Vest variant to help out with the Latias, but I think the Choice Scarf set with like a U-turn, Bolt Strike, V-Crate is a lot more likely just because it will be able to threaten stuff like Manaphy. It'll obviously outspeed that. It can definitely U-turn on stuff like Latias, and it wouldn't have the speed tier for Mega Pinsir otherwise, so I really think Choice Scarf is the set to go, but he could get kind of creative with it. I could see some sort of Trick Room weakness policy set too, so I really just have to keep all sets into consideration right there. Next up, he has the Mega Venusaur. I don't think Mega Venusaur comes. It's pretty much blown back by Latias, Manaphy, and Mega Pinsir. Manaphy obviously due to the +3 Psychic potential, and it also doesn't do well against my Crobat at all, so definitely don't expect Mega Venusaur to come. It doesn't really threaten a ton of my Pokemon. The only Pokemon that it really switches into very well is my Xurkitree, just because Landorus can obviously run like Swords Dance and do quite a bit of damage with stuff like Earthquake, so, and Florges does get access to Psychic, and honestly, after a few combines, Florges might be able to set up on that. I'm not bringing Florges, but he definitely does have to keep that into consideration, so not really expecting Mega Venusaur. Same thing with Dugtrio, it's not even a Z-move user, so I don't think Dugtrio doesn't have a ton of viability right here, just because it can't really touch my Mega Pinsir, Latias, Landorus Incarnate, and you should know that Xurkitree is not really a very viable bring right here anyway, along with Pyro, just because both of those struggle against Mega Venusaur and some sort of Victini variants, and they're obviously trapped by Dugtrio to begin with, so I don't think Dugtrio comes just because you shouldn't expect either of those two Pokemon. He has the Melodic, which Melodic actually has a unique matchup right here. I'm bringing Sticky Webs for the first time, and the idea of my team is I'm trying to bluff not bringing Sticky Webs just because he has so many ways to deal with Sticky Webs, such as Competitive on Melodic, Defiant on Bisharp, and I believe Prankster Defog on Tornadus Incarnate, so I'm really hoping he just doesn't prep for webs because he thinks that I won't bring them because he has so much to respond, so I am bringing Sticky Web, so if he brings Melodic and it is competitive, it's going to do a ton of work, but I'm really not expecting competitive Melodic to come. He also has the Gardevoir, which an Assault Vest Gardevoir can definitely take a hit from Manaphy, and it can take multiple hits from my Latias too, but it's blown back by Mega Pinsir and Physical Landorus Incarnate, so kind of a mixed matchup right there. Could really see him bringing like a Choice Scarf variant. I really think he has to bring at least one Choice Scarf Psychic, either Gardevoir or Victini, and the other one is probably going to be Assault Vest, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, but Gardevoir definitely has a decent matchup right here. This also struggles against stuff like Crobat, so I don't know. He also has the Bisharp, which same kind of boat as Melodic. If he brings a Defiant Bisharp, it's going to do a ton of work, but I'm really not expecting that set, because he should not expect Sticky Webs to come. He also has the Ditto, which is really annoying. It pretty much hindered me from bringing any Choice Scarf, or, I mean not Choice Scarf, Setup Pokemon this week. I really wanted to bring a few Setup Pokemon, which, spoilers, I actually am. I'm bringing a ton of Setup Pokemon that actually have the potential to deal with Ditto, so hopefully that can work out, but yeah, just standard Choice Scarf Ditto is probably what she's going to bring. Tornadus Incarnate, which is his first of 2 Z-move users alongside Haxorus. Could see a Supersonic Sky Strike variant. I have to check whether it gets access to a Dark Pulse, because a Hurricane set with Darkinium Z, it definitely has potential too. He has the Vikavolt, which thankfully Vikavolt's not a Z-move user, but Agility Vikavolt is definitely a very scary problem for my team. Not much else to say with that. It's probably going to be Agility or Choice Specs, but I do have access to Ground type, so you would definitely have to predict if he brings a Choice variant, but really expecting that Agility Sweeper. He also has the Haxorus, which is a second of 2 Z-move users. Dragon Dance Haxorus doesn't really have much viability right here. It does have a good matchup on paper, but my most likely Choice Scarf user is just Latias and Manaphy. Deal with that really well. And then finally Gigalith, which is a Sand Setter, but he doesn't really have any Sand abusers, so it's going to be like some sort of sturdy Stealth Rocks variant. Could run Rock Last to try to anti-lead my Leavanny, but yeah, those are his 11 Pokemon. Let's go ahead and hop into my 6. Alright, our first Pokemon right here is Assess the Threat, our Mega Pinsir, which is running a Substitute 3 Attacks variant. We are bringing Frustration, and I will go ahead and check my Happiness so that we don't make the same mistake as last week. I will minimize the Happiness right there, and I'm going with Frustration over Return just because I've brought Return the first 2 weeks that I've brought Mega Pinsir in weeks 5 and 6, and I definitely think he'll expect that and go with max Happiness on this Ditto. So that's why I'm running Frustration, and other than that we have Earthquake and Quick Attack, pretty standard coverage. Earthquake can help out against Victini. Return does do a sizable chunk to that too, but Earthquake actually does more. And Earthquake is also great against Bishop. Close Combat was definitely viable too, but I really like the Earthquake option right here. But other than that, I'm really just going to be spamming Return mostly. Quick Attack can be cool against something like a Vikavolt if I can get that thing into range. Quick Attack will be able to pick that off, which is definitely very nice. I'll double check the Earthquake versus Close Combat. I really don't know what I want to go yet. I've debated about it for quite a while, but I really like Substitute just because it can help out against Ditto. Say I Substitute up against something, he tries to go out into something to sack. I get to go ahead and knock that out, and then he potentially has to sack another Pokemon just to knock me out. So I really think Substitute can definitely do a ton of work right here, but let's go ahead and move on to our Manaphy. Second Pokemon we have right here is Seal, our Manaphy, which is running a Max Speed, Max Special Attack variant. And the idea is I just want to be able to speed tie with either Jolly or Timid Victini, assuming he isn't Choice Scarf. But the main idea of this set is Tail Glow up, get a knockout, and then when he tries to bring in Ditto to revenge kill me with Energy Bell, we eat up that Rindo Berry and knock that Pokemon out too. So ideally, Manaphy can pick up 2 KOs right here. That would definitely be very ideal. Running Psychic for Mega Venusaur and Surf just for general coverage. Energy Bell is also really nice against Milotic, and it can also help us not predict around the whole Dugtrio Milotic thing. We can just Energy Bell both, which is definitely very cool, but this is like a Ditto lure. I really want to try to have him sack a Pokemon to my Tail Glow and then attack, and he brings out Ditto to try to revenge kill me with +3 Energy Bell, and I just go ahead and knock that out. So hopefully that scenario can work out, but it's also really great against just switching into stuff like Gigalith. We only take like 30% from Stone Edge. Obviously my goal is to try to keep out of range of that +3 Energy Ball, but Surf is definitely a very nice option there, and it just does really well against his team overall. Hey, unfortunately, we don't knock out Gardevoir after a Tail Glow, so it's definitely something we do have to keep into consideration. I definitely do have to get a bit of chip damage on that with, say, another Pokemon. So let's go ahead and move on to our Sticky Web setter. Third Pokemon we have right here is Omega, our Leavanny, which is running a Sticky Web's Magicoat variant, pretty standard spread right here. We do have Overcoat just because in case he wants to try to anti-lead me with something like Sandstream Gigalith, Overcoat can definitely help out with that. But if he is smart, he will anti-lead me with a Rock Blast Gigalith instead, which will go through my Focus Sash by hitting twice, instead of running like the Sandstream Stone Edge variant. But yeah, Sticky Webs are really helpful. I really am expecting Choice Scarf Victini, and as I said, he does have a lot of ways to deal with the Sticky Webs between competitive Milotic, Defiant Bisharp, and Prankster, Defog, Tornadus, Incarnate, but I really think he won't expect Sticky Webs, and that's why I'm bringing them. So other than that, we have Knockoff right there. If we can knock off a Victini's Choice Scarf, that might indeed be better than actually getting up Sticky Webs early, depending on what he brings, but we're kind of walled by Mega Venusaur. I have to check whether Magicoat actually affects Leech Seed, but we actually can't bounce back a Leech Seed on Mega Venusaur, so ignore that. But yeah, Knockoff is really nice. We can knock off something like Flame Orb on Milotic, if that's the set he opts to bring before it goes off, which could definitely be very nice. And the two things that Knockoff are not really going to be useful against are the Haxorus and the Tornadus Incarnate, just because they do obviously have the potential to run a Z move. But I really think Sticky Webs can be very useful. It's just unfortunate that it can't outslow the thing that I really do want to drill over its speed, which is the Tornadus Incarnate, but they can still do work. And let's go ahead and move on to our Crobat. So our first of 2 win cons right here is our Sub-Salic Berry Crobat, and I'm really excited about this set. I really think it does have a lot of winning potential, and the idea is, you've seen that I've brought 2 substitute Pokemon between this and Mega Pinsir, and that's obviously because Ditto is a problem. With setup Pokemon, you really want to be behind a substitute when Ditto comes in, so that way you can knock that thing out. And that's definitely what I'm trying to do right here. But the main thing is, I'm really expecting Choice Scarf Victini, and after substitutes, say we substitute up 3 times, pop that Salic Berry, get a Nasty Plot up, and then we definitely outspeed the Victini even if it's Choice Scarf. So say he tries to sack a Pokemon that can't really do a ton of damage to me, like Mega Venusaur, we could even get up multiple Nasty Plots on that, which would definitely be very cool. So hopefully Crobat can do some work right here. I really think it can win the game. Heat Wave coverage is definitely just our better option against something like Bisharp too. It doesn't really hit much else, but we really needed an attack that can definitely hit that. It's also great against the Vikavolt and some sort of scenario right there. So hopefully Crobat can pull up the sweep, and that scenario that we just explained can work out. And let's go ahead and move on to our Latias. Second to last Pokemon we have right here is regular Eon, our Latias, which is running a Choice Scarf variant for the 3rd week in a row. I really think Choice Scarf is also the way to go this week, just because it can outpace stuff like Dugtrio and Tornadus Incarnate. Well, not Tornadus Incarnate if it's Scarf, but regular Tornadus Incarnate. And Shadow Ball can definitely catch stuff like Victini, which I'm really expecting his Choice Scarf to be Victini, so Shadow Ball can definitely be very useful for that. And Scarf Healing Wish is just really great with the offensive nature of my team. I do have a lot of setup Pokemon between my Crobat with Nasty Plot, Tailglow Manaphy, Substitute Mega Pinsir, and you'll see I'm actually bringing a Sweeper Landorus Incarnate too. So if I do see an opening late game to Healing Wish into something and set up, this is definitely a very nice option. But other than that, just pretty standard dual stab. With Shadow Ball, as I said, it does outpace the Victini, which is definitely very nice no matter what. It does also outpace Scarf Gardevoir. We unfortunately don't 2-hit KO Assault Vest Gardevoir, so hopefully it's Scarf Gardevoir and Assault Vest Victini, because after rocks we do actually knock out the Victini too. I might have to put a Stealth Rock around here, but yeah, that's definitely a very nice option, and hopefully Latias can outspeed what I needed to. Hopefully it doesn't bring like Scarf Tornadus Incarnate. Let's go and move on to our final Pokemon. And our final Pokemon right here is Ryan, our Landorus Incarnate, which is running an Earth Plate set with Swords Dance and Rock Polish. Edgequake just has a really nice coverage against his team, and I really think this thing does have a ton of sweeping potential. The only things that really stop it are Mega Venusaur and Melodic. And yeah, Swords Dance and Rock Polish is just very great with Edgequake, and the idea of this thing is we probably won't need to get up both Swords Dance and Rock Polish if we want to sweep in some scenarios, just because if we do have webs up, depending on what's still alive, we can just Swords Dance up and clean. And if we don't have webs up, say he actually brought one of those Pokemon, or he brings that Defog Tornadus Incarnate, we might have to Rock Polish and clean that way. But yeah, hopefully the Ryan, our Landorus Incarnate right here, can pick up a nice late game sweep. There are a few Pokemon that we actually can set up on, such as the Dugtrio, which doesn't really do that much damage to me. And if Victini is locked into some sort of electric type move, we can definitely go ahead and do some work against that too. We'll obviously have to scout for whether it's actually locked in or not. But yeah, Ryan definitely does have sweeping potential right here, and that is going to be our team for this week. So lots of speed control. We do have two fast setup sweepers between Rock Polish Lando and Salicberry on our Crobat, and we also have Choice Scarf Latias for a lot of speed control and sticky webs, so I really think we can counter that Ditto pretty well. Hopefully that Manaphy tech with the Rendo Berry works out. And yeah, that's going to be the team. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Would you have built anything differently? And yeah, the match will be live tomorrow at, I believe, 10 a.m. Eastern, so be sure to go ahead and tune into that. And I'll see you next time. Later.